Previously on Unranked.
I went to a laser eye appointment, and I am going to be getting laser eye surgery next month, and I'm very excited about it. I'm not getting LASIK, so there's a new one called Smile, and
here it goes.
It's wild because with LASIK they would cut around like your whole lens. They would do almost a full circle. They would leave a small gap and then lift it up. You'd have an eye flap. They know, and so that always like put me like really off the idea of like peeling back your eye flap.
Repositioned.
It's just this tiny, teeny tiny little incision. They don't lift anything back. It's just a tiny little incision, and then they can reshape it, and then in and out 10 minutes. And the next day, I'm at 80 to 90% visibility.
Utterly horrifying. I can't believe you did that to me. And fuck Tuna for not being here. And maybe that video, the previous one next week, has to be my reaction to it, so we can include the video again.
Wow.
Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, that was good. No, I didn't know that they just kind of like rubbed your eye with a utensil.
So here's what happened. Chris shows that to me last week. And he goes, "Oh, I'm horrified." Okay. And he was like, "Shame Tuna wasn't here to see it." And I was like, "You have to make it the next previously on." Because he has to see that. I cannot be the only one that's seen that. What do you think?
The fact that it's 10 minutes is actually really cool.
It is impressive.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching it and it's sped up, right? It's time lapse, so it's like a minute long. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, this probably took like Therese was watching this whole thing, but then it's like, oh, it's only 10 minutes. I'm surprised that she was able to like do that.
Why would you watch it? I think I'd be like, all right, I get the gist, and then like go on my phone or something. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I would.
Chris made her film it so that we would have to watch it.
For 10 minutes?
She did the whole thing. He was like, you have to film all of this. It's going to be a good bit on the Unranked podcast.
Okay.
Welcome. My name's Tom. It's Tom and Tuna time.
Did you ever change your mic like settings from when you did the recording of that ukulele thing?
Oh, is it fucked?
I don't know. You sound a little off. And I can't. You sound a little off.
I thought I had fixed them, but maybe
you
didn't.
did. Maybe I'm just. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just
everything is
all good. Okay,
should be good.
So this is Pokemon number.
Should be good.
Pokemon number 451.
Okay. Hopefully it's good. Sorry if it's not good. 451.
451, baby. Skorupi.
Oh, okay.
Skorupi. A dual type poison bug Pokemon introduced in Generation 4.
Okay.
So, I mean,
it's
a scorpion. That looks like it's made of, like, it looks like clamshells are making up its tail.
Okay.
A little bit. And then, I don't know, it looks like it has like a centipede type face. Thoughts? This was fine.
It's okay. You know, it falls into this bucket of Pokemon that show up too often in Pokemon Go for me. So I kind of like, I'm sick of this guy. It's, you know, do we have other Scorpion Pokemon, or is it just this? Because if it's just this, that is unfortunate.
Scorpion Pokemon. Nope. This is it.
Wow.
At least I think it is.
The
internet says it is.
Okay. If the internet says it has to be right.
Let me see Scorpion Pokemon besides Skorupi.
Wow.
Besides Skorupi. No.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe if we go to trivia, it'll even say that.
Yeah.
It's the only dual type bug poison Pokemon to have poison as its primary type instead of its secondary type.
Oh.
Okay.
So, name origin.
Yeah.
Skorupi and appears to be a shortening of Scorpion.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, it says appears, not may, not is. I don't know that we've ever had an appears to be.
It's also not a shortening because you're adding a letter. Like, I get that it's less letters, but it's still adding a U.
Let me tell you something. This might be one of the worst name origins that we've ever had.
Let's read.
It may be a shortening, but you're right. They've added a
U.
A U.
So let's let's read a Pokedex entry and see if that's going to turn it around. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry, Skorupi, but you're really it's looking pretty bleak for you, bud.
Not looking great.
Not looking great. Okay. Pokedex entry. Okay. This is from Legends Arceus. Its claws are not only razor sharp, but poisonous, making Skorupi a highly dangerous Pokemon. It seems to be weakened by cold temperatures, however. Nothing really, and it's not like, oh, this thing eats children in the night, or, it's like, yeah, it has sharp claws and it's poisonous. I can see that. You know what I mean? Like, I can see it's a poison Pokemon with sharp claws, I'd assume. So it's not adding anything there. Tuna, do you want to start the bidding?
What? I mean, I would go middle of the road on this one.
Middle?
I'm not too. I mean, low middle.
Okay.
You want it higher?
No. I think that this is, like, for example,
I think we're in like the 40s.
Okay.
No,
I think it's below that.
Right, let me just look at something here. Let me look at Badoo, because that's like
I really would put it maybe bottom of the list.
Bottom of the list?
Like,
I don't know if I'd put it bottom of the list.
I think about something like,
I put it in like the Starly, Bidoof, Cricketune area.
It could go there.
That's where I'd put it.
Let me just pitch something real quick to you, okay?
All right. I'll pitch it.
If, like, Bidoof, Bronzor, but think about the Skorupi. They just thought, all right, we're gonna make a poison Pokemon. We're gonna make a Scorpion Pokemon. What does it look like? It looks like a Scorpion. There's nothing. We're not doing anything to it.
True.
What typing is it? Oh, it's poison and bug, because that's what you think of when you think of Scorpions.
Yeah.
Are we gonna give it any flair? No. Scorpion, poison Scorpion. At least with things like Bidoof, like, it has character, like, it, you know what I mean, and like all of these things, I feel like Cherim, Chingling, like, they have a bit more to them. Even Perugly, when I think about that one, I think like, oh, but it's mimicking this kind of like style of cat that's like a rich woman's cat, like this fucking like bitch of a cat. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right, I would put it as the new 55.
Bronzor, below Bronzor. Above Hippopotas. I can live with that. Oh no, that would make it 56.
Fine. Yeah, put it above Bronzor.
Put it above Bronzor. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Bronzor.
I'll take it. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll see where he ends up at the very end of the season.
Right.
All right, there we go. Skorupi, the new 55 out of 65, I think, is where we are. All right. So sorry, everyone. Chris is away this week. He is getting old.
Yeah, he's just an old dude.
He's like, oh, my back hurts.
He's an old man.
He's gone to Disney one too many times. I'm not joking. Chris has actually hurt his back. As people who listen to this podcast know, he has some.
He's got a bad back.
He's got a bad back. Got a bad
back. So we've taken over the podcast. So we're going to be talking about what we want, which usually lines up with what Chris wants to talk about.
Yeah.
But anyway, so number one, I will tell you, again, we are pushing the challenge, the presentation, and the post-show Porco Rosso discussion.
Oh my
to next
God,
week.
Another week. It's been like
another
month.
Push. We are apologizing We're sorry. Blame Chris's back. So that's part one. Part two is that just as a little teaser, I loved Porco. And I wish we could talk about Porco right now because
it's been too long.
It's been too long. And besides one particular scene in Porco, it would go to the top of my list.
I think I know what you're talking about. So there we go.
So there's one scene in it, maybe not, I don't know. There's one scene that kind of it doesn't not like right now. Nausicaa is my top. Right now, Nausicaa is still my number one film. Miyazaki
cinema experience,
right? And Porco is going to go at number 2, but Porco would have gone to number 1 if it wasn't for this longish scene that happens that I'm not too jazzed about. I just don't like it. Okay. I don't like the way that it happens.
We'll save the full.
We'll discuss.
We'll discuss later.
So,
also, that's a great tease because that's our post show, so a lot of listeners don't actually engage with that content. So if we never really bring it up that like we do this live. There's a post show. There's a ton of content that people are missing out. So if you would like, you can go to Discord. I believe it's only $2 or $3 a month. You can join us live. You can chat in. You can get the post show, and you have access to the entire. Well, I say entire backlog. Entire backlog to when we started doing Discord subscriptions. We haven't transferred our Patreon content over because it's a huge overhaul. We would like to get it done one day, but it's a lot of work. But you can access, 100 episodes, maybe more of post content. So if you find yourself, we get those messages every so often that's like, I've listened through the podcast numerous times, which is your mental health must be in bad shape if that's the case. But we love you for it. If you're like, oh my god, there's new content,
there's new
unranked, like there's like hundreds of hours, because sometimes the post shows are like 20-30 minutes long, like there. So go check out Discord.
Depends what we're talking about.
Go check out the Spartan program.
This for the past over a month now, we've been watching the Miyazaki movies in order of release. Starting with the Castle of Cagliostro, all the way we'll go to The Boy and the Heron. Currently, we're at, as I just said, Porco Rosso.
Nearing the halfway point.
We're nearing the halfway point. And like I said, Porco, loved it.
It's a great film. It is a great film. I'll tease my and you know what, I also mentioned I knew you would love it, and I'm really glad that you do.
Oh, it's one of the Michael Keaton also is fucking incredible
in this role. Oh my god, one of his best roles. Like, honestly,
he's incredible. Yeah, honestly, one of his best roles. Like it is perfection.
It is perfection
as Pork.
Like, yeah. Anyway.
But like the surface level story is amazing, but like the deeper story is even better. The deeper story hits hard. There's just one part in this movie that, like,
we'll talk about it next week.
There's just one part, man, that I'm just like, oh no.
People have to pay for it.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, you got to pay for it.
All right, $3.
Here's stuff that you don't have to pay for. So here's something you don't have to pay for. I 100%ed Echoes of Wisdom. Surprise, surprise.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. What does that entail? Surprise. Just like doing all the side quests and
doing all the side quests, collecting all the heart pieces.
Oh, heart pieces. Wow.
Heart pieces. Okay. All the accessories. There's accessories you can wear that can boost your swim speed, your defense, how much energy you can use at a particular time. Hearts showing up more often. Rupees showing up more often. All the echoes. I found every single echo. And found all the energy crystals, the might crystals. So here's what I will say about this game. It is really good, but it's the same kind of thing with Plucky, with the problem that I had with Plucky Squire. You took a step in the right direction, but you did not go full tilt. You did not go full. You did not commit. And I really think this game would have benefited even more from not having the ability to switch to a link mode and just going full in. on leaning into the fact that Zelda is a wisdom user. She learns echoes and she learns
right,
how to
because
use
I
those
didn't even
echoes to
put
her
that together, that
advantage.
she holds the Triforce of Wisdom. That's her
Yeah,
Triforce
so
piece.
she's right. And I really liked it that the not too much of a spoiler, but the bad guy is not Ganon. Okay, I'm just gonna like I actually think that's not a spoiler in the sense that you'd probably love to hear that it's not Ganon. I like the story. I like what they did. I like the areas. It just was a little too simple, and there were too many parts where it was like side view, I guess, like a scroller. There were too many of those parts.
Interesting. Okay.
And again, I just feel like they didn't you got it, like it's a great idea. Like I really think this is a great idea, and I think you could have done so much more with it. And I think that to then give you the power to turn into Link and use a bow and bombs and a sword, granted for a limited time, but you can extend that time.
Yeah, it's also
you
pretty generous, even at the start, I feel. Like, when I
Yes.
first started using it, I felt very much like, oh, this isn't like I get a hit or two in. Like, I could see it. I thought it was going to be like that. Like a lifeline. Like, you need to get out of a situation quick. But no, like, you can go into an area, and if you're efficient enough, like, you can take everyone out in that area with Link mode and have energy to spare. And that's in the beginning.
Energy to spare.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted it to function the same way that your super functions in Destiny, when you're like, oh, like sometimes you're like, oh, fuck, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Like if I don't want to die, I have to use my super right now.
If it was like a thing where she kicks in, she turns to Link, and it's like a big spin attack, and it just gets the enemies that are surrounding her are taken care of, and it's a one and done thing. That is, I think, a more appropriate
I agree.
Usage.
I agree. And to have like a cooldown, again, not to bring up Destiny, but to have a cooldown where it's like, yes, you can use it in a boss fight, but like it's 7 minutes or 8 minutes until the next time you can use it. Like they really needed to lean into this hard.
The reason Destiny is so satisfying is because I keep playing this game and I keep being like, I just want them to fix the things that are bad, because the stuff that's good in here is so good. The way they have built it, so it's almost like Tetris, where you have to think like, I have to line up this grenade throw, and then that's going to kick in the melee, and then like if I do a dodge, like I get this again, and if I do my super here, like I'm figuring out the timing, and when you get that timing locked in, it it's like clearing 4 rows in Tetris, you know. It's like, oh my god, I built the perfect thing, boom, they're all gone. Yeah, that, so like, I definitely think
so I will say, like, and I think the problem with Zelda games is that they get rated and reviewed generously, even when there are issues with the game. Like this one didn't get a perfect score, and that's fine, but I don't think it's again, I don't to bring up Plucky Swire again, it's like you have a great idea, you implemented that idea, you created a world that is the same world again that we've seen in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, and we've seen Hyrule, and we've seen, come on, man, like there's gotta be you gotta, like I don't want to say it's the end of Zelda, right? Because it almost feels like that. Like if the next game is the exact same map as Breath of the Wild and Tears,
well, they have already said that it won't be, but
I know, but I'm just saying, like this game is the exact same map that it's been.
A different version of Hyrule, like like I get
like enough with Hyrule, like they can go outside of Hyrule.
The most, other than like the iconic Hyrule, like if you want to think about like the iconic Hyrule Zeldas, it's Link to the Past, it's Ocarina, it's Breath of the Wild. And then, like, you know, like, yes, you enjoy your Twilight Princess. You enjoy your, you know, there's like the I would say the next tier. But simply for the fact that like a game like Wind Waker does what it does with its map, and Majora, like they planted their flag, and a large chunk of that is because they don't just do Hyrule again. You know, so yeah, I mean, look, it's
time to do something else.
Shake it up.
Like it's time to, because it's getting stale. It's getting stale.
Not Pokemon
and if I
stale,
see this
but
map,
it is getting
but it's getting stale. It's getting to the point where it's like I know this map, like I know where the sections are going to be. Like I know that Gerudo's going to be down there. I know that the volcano's going to be up there. I know that the Zora are going to be over here. Like it's time to it's time to do something else, and it's time to really let go of a lot of the tropes and a lot of the bullshit that they've dragged along for the last 30 years. But still a good game.
Very good.
It was still look, I totally admit it was still a good game, and I had a good time, and I 100%ed it, which means I really enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't. I'm saying that this could have been, again, like Plucky Squire, good game, could have been amazing if you really leaned into your idea.
The plucky and the squireness. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's that.
Congrats, 100%. That's
yeah. You know me.
I know.
I'm still playing Nintendo World Championships, even though you guys are not. Oh yeah, I enter in my times every week. It's really fun. I still enjoy it. It's like I'm at the point where I'm pretty good at all the games now that like an enter into a World Championship, I can get S rank within like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes on whatever they have to offer that week. So it's not like I'm grinding the way Chris and I were grinding like all week with some of these. So that's been fun. Anything else? We went apple picking this weekend. That was a lot of fun. The kid finally it was a good year. Like she understood about like actually picking the apple, putting it in she got it. So that was really cool. She's loving school, so that's also really cool. Kid loves gymnastics.
She's a go-getter for sure.
Yeah, you know.
That's good.
Yeah,
she's got two very
talking a lot more too now. Now she's constantly asking me, "Daddy, what are you doing? Daddy, what are you doing?" Like,
that's great.
Mind your business.
Well, no, she's curious.
Mind your fucking business, kid.
She's curious. You got to nurture that curiosity, otherwise she's not going to want to do gymnastics anymore.
Yeah.
You might have a wunderkind on your hands. You just don't know. You're not harboring it. That's great about Zelda. I'm glad one of us has done the work on it, because I have not gotten nearly. It is one of those things where I'm like, fuck, man. Really wish that there was an opportunity to really sink my teeth in. We shall see. But what I have been sinking my teeth into the last week or so, well, I had Comic-Con over the weekend. That was a big chunk of my time. That was the reason we had to record early even. We went to the Destiny Gallery together. We
did. We went to the Destiny Gallery. It was good. A couple paintings. My favorite part were there were I don't know, artist-inspired ghosts.
Yes.
So that was cool.
Yep. If you go to GameSpot's social media channel, you'll see a video showing off all the things that we saw. I
did like it, right?
Yeah.
But it was small. It was a small gallery.
Yeah.
However, we did something even more fun afterwards, where we went to a mini golf, bar and restaurant.
Yeah.
The mini golf was actually a lot of fun. And then the food was incredible.
The food was
really good.
You had the chopped Caesar, which was expensive for what you, because it was street food, right? It was
street food.
Basically, they'd hired 3 different companies to build small kitchens. So in the back. Well, not even in the back, because most of the golf was back there too as well.
What was this place called? Swingers?
It's called Swingers. If you remember back to a couple episodes ago when I did my putt-putt explanation, I bring Swingers up because it is a mini golf experience here in the city. It was, I think, fairly priced for what we did. I do wish it was 18-hole. I do think it is a little steep for 9 holes.
It's steep for 9, man. It was $28 for 9 holes.
The holes are cool. And
they
are
cool.
The vibes and it's the experience. And someone comes up and is like, "Do you want a drink?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they bring me this margarita that is maybe one of the best margaritas I've ever had. I would have housed multiple of them if they weren't $17 a pop.
Oh, yeah.
But that was great. And then the last hole was fun with the little twist that we won't ruin for people. And we had food, and we shared that pizza was good. We shared everything was good. A little square kind of deep pizza. Do you have pizza Are you good with any kind, like in terms of like deep dish, like Chicago style?
Oh yeah,
You'll just eat anything.
Dish.
Okay,
I
mean,
love
I'm
any
with
kind
you.
of
I'm
pizza.
with you.
I got dough proofing in the fridge right now.
You fuck with the
for tomorrow.
fuck with the calzone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love meat lovers. Meat lovers calzone. It's great.
Okay. Hot
Love the
pocket
meat lovers.
then. Okay.
Now, when we walked over to the golf outing, you
Mm.
had told me about something you did at Comic-Con that I was very jealous about.
Oh, the Squid Game, which
Squid
was
Game.
previously, again, you can see a video if you go to GameSpot social channels. So I did the Squid Game experience. If you're, I think it's touring around. I don't know if it's currently in other cities, but it is in New York right now, and it's there until March. So you have plenty of time to go see it, or if you're planning a trip to the city, you can, in the next 5 months, you can add it to your itinerary if you want. It was cool. Basically, you play Squid Game, and they have both interesting takes on games that already exist and a couple of their own original things. And you don't get eliminated, so it's not like if you lose out round one, you're out and you can't play the rest. It's all point based, so the better you do, the more points you have, and that is, we tally everyone. I will say, couple of just like hitches along the way, like with like for example in Squid Game they have the one with the 2 alternate paths of glass shards. So the way that they did that in the game, in this experience, is you had like a path in front of you, and it was made up of squares like the glass shards, but it was a floor, but they would light up at the very beginning. It would show an order, so it's like the next square is green, the one after that red, the one after that green, the one after that green. Like everyone had a different
you'd have to
pattern.
memorize it.
You'd have to memorize it at the start. You don't see it again, and you go one by one. You have to do everything, and that's how they did it. So
I like that.
Yeah, but the problem is that people didn't understand that they had to do it one by one. Like it wasn't explained well enough, so people would like make a move to a next square, and it would register that they were out, but they were in. And there was a lot of like, just go over to the winner's side, shit like that. So there was stuff like that. That was the worst one, which is unfortunate because it was the first thing we did. Whereas the others didn't have as many kind of like technical hitches like that. But it's definitely cool. And if you get a VIP ticket, it comes with a drink. You can go into a VIP lounge. You get a mask like you're one of the VIP people, the golden like animal masks.
Right.
And you get to hang out there for as long as you want and watch other people play the game.
That's pretty cool.
So it was cool. You can find again more info online. Yeah, dude, Comic-Con was great this year, but also like the first year that I haven't done a ton of stuff that is at the convention, and usually I find myself having too much time at the convention. But this year, a lot of stuff was off-site. Like I had to be in different places. And I actually was like, oh, I wish I could have been on the floor more. But yeah, it was cool. Very cool. In terms of games, because I would like to talk about some gaming experiences I've had this week real quick. Jumped into the Alan Wake 2 DLC. I was hoping to actually finish it before the pod because I was very close to finishing it. But it was either that or watch Survivor, which will be our post-show this week. Very excited to talk about this week. But I'm very close to finishing it. It is awesome. It just reminded me how good Alan Wake 2 was. And for people that haven't checked it out yet, it has the gameplay of Alan Wake 2, which is way more slow survival horror. You have a limited amount of ammo. You need to make every bullet count, but in a control-like setting, right? So you're in essentially a Federal Bureau of Control way station that is in the forest, and it tells the story. If you have played Alan Wake 2, it tells the story of one of the characters who you meet halfway through the game, it tells the story of what happened to them before you meet them in the game when they get to Bright Falls, which is the town that Alan Wake is set in. It's so good. It also like introduces some new concepts on the control side, because I would say it's a really good, it's Alan Wake gameplay, but all of the lore and the story is all control stuff, and it's just amazing. I know that you play Control and you were like, I have to read everything. It's amazing how, like, to me, I am so excited to stumble along a new folder to read like what is going on. The story they've set up, the way that you piece together what happened through the environment and like the things that you read and hear it's at that level that Control was, and I am so excited for that. For whatever we see next. I know that we're going to talk about the fact that there's a multiplayer game. Like, this is the best studio out there right now, in my opinion.
Whoa!
I am the most excited for what they have coming up next. You know what I mean? Like that Control 2.
All right. I mean, I have a different studio or group that I'm excited for when they put out stuff. Mighty Coconut.
Oh, because yes, tell me, please.
Today, well, I don't want to spoil too much.
I know.
I don't want to spoil too much, but they just came out with what they're calling the 8-bit Lair mini golf course.
Right.
Which is the third installment in their Evil Lair series. So Lucas Martel did the creator. He did a video, like a tour of the course. I would say if you are a Walkabout mini golf owner, do not watch that video and just go play this course. If you are not a Walkabout mini golf owner, watch the video because it might entice you to buy Walkabout mini golf just for this course. So anyway, he was talking about how the first Evil Lair course is kind of based on like the time period of the 60s, and that the second one, the Ice Lair, is more in line with the 70s of the style. And now this one is very much inspired by the 80s. So to summarize the course a little bit, you're in a tall skyscraper and the elevator doors open and you can clearly see that it's set in the 80s. There's like cubicles and those computer monitors from the late 80s. I won't tell you what the core mechanic or the core not gimmick but feature of the course is, but anyway. Then on the second floor of this building, you're in an arcade, and it looks like you're right out of an 80s arcade. There's pinball machines, arcade cabinets. It's really, really cool. And then there's a third part that I will not spoil, but it's a really, really cool course. And it's actually, I would say, their first attempt in trying to tell a story. It's a very short, but there is a little bit of a story that they're telling from hole 1 to hole 18.
Interesting. You don't feel like the other you're
this
saying
is
like this is to a different extent. Okay, interesting.
This is specifically a story. You will meet, I can tell you will meet Vector, who is the boss. He is the evil guy. You see him on hole 1, and every hole he talks to you. And then as you progress, the story kind of unfolds, if you will. But it is excellent course. I don't want to spoil anything because there's a couple things in there that you're like, oh. So, I mean, it's one of the honestly, it's one of the greatest games.
I'll tell you this: today, right, of this recording is the day that it came out and you played it.
Yep.
I had a very important thing that I was in the middle of, and Tuna knew I was in the middle of it. And Chris was hopped up on he wasn't yet hopped up on painkillers, but he was craving painkillers because of his back. And he was like, I literally don't even think I can do the podcast today, let alone strap in and play 8-bit Lair. Tuna wasn't having any of it. He was like, just stop what you're doing. Like, I need you to stop what you're doing and check this out right now. So I'm very excited to jump in. Definitely should have some time this weekend. But maybe, maybe Tuna, maybe you've convinced some people to go out there, drop a little cash on listen,
the more you support this game, the more courses I will get. And so selfishly, I do want you to get this.
We are not sponsored by Meta, but they did just put out a $300 MetaQuest 3S that plays this game. And, Tuna, it comes with another game for free that I've been checking out called Batman Arkham Shadows.
Oh.
So if you buy a new MetaQuest, and again, I'm saying this is, we are not sponsored in any way by Meta. Zuck, if you want to get the fucking big old truck of cash, send it down. I'm willing to take it, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I do think still that the best gaming experience you can have on the MetaQuest or any VR device is Walkabout Minigolf. That being 100%. Said, if you're looking for something that is more of a game with I mean, Walkabout has collectibles, but like,
yeah, they do.
Has a variety of different gameplay types. This Batman game is the game we've been waiting for. It very successfully transports, I think, the Arkham games and their gameplay into virtual reality. They made a Batman Arkham VR game before, and in fact, that one was made by Rocksteady, who made the Arkham games. And it was cool, but it was just the detectiving. You were just standing around doing detective shit. This is a full-fledged Arkham game with combat, with puzzles, with gliding, with all this. It feels, and this might be a really big selling point, it feels like Arkham Asylum, the very first one, and in a lot of people's opinions, the best one. People really like Arkham City. Arkham City introduced the open world. Arkham Asylum, you were in the asylum, and it was very much like you move from room to room, and each room is kind of a puzzle box of how am I going to get around. Did you play these games at all? I don't know if you, because they're from
I
like
played Arkham
the
Asylum.
original.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, fantastic.
This is doing that because it isn't open world. You are just kind of like, it is a little bit Metroidvania where you see something and you have to keep progressing and you're like, oh, that does this. I can go back and double back. The way they transport, get the quote that one of the developers in an interview gave was so good, because you're thinking like, how does like punching and everything, like combat work? When you look at an enemy and you punch at them, Batman like dashes across the room and punches, and then it'll have different things where it's like, oh, this enemy needs you to punch here, here, and here, and you can take him out. Or this enemy requires like a hook from the right, like you have to just do this. Or the best thing is like when it's a takedown and it's like, okay, grab them and now like wail on the head as Batman. That
is cool. Sounds cool.
It is so, I think, as well as you can get in VR, at least at this stage, executes on the vision of an Arkham game.
What I will say, though, and I do, all this sounds great.
Yeah.
Right. I still, and I think you said this already, but Walkabout Minigolf is the game that will get you to buy this fucking system. And I checked how many hours I have in this game. I'm pretty sure, I think I may have spent more hours in Breath of the Wild, but this might be the second most game in hours I've ever played, behind
Halo.
The Halo 2, Halo 3 back in those days when we were playing that like all the time.
Yeah, and I definitely think like what is special, because this is bringing, I think, a screen game successfully over to VR, but Walkabout transcends what you can, like, it plays into the strengths of VR, which is that it puts you in a space and you're interacting with other people, and it just feels like the social aspect of it, I do think, is why it's way more
and
fun.
Mini golf is extremely conducive to VR because you don't have to move a ton.
It really executes on that. But it is great because it is come for Walkabout, stay for Batman. Because especially if you buy one of these headsets, like you have this, and it's a media experience that like other than Walkabout, which is like, oh, I can't wait to play like another match with the lads. I haven't had another VR experience that's like I have to get back to playing that.
Right. I would say come for the Walkabout, stay for the Batman games or anything else that comes out, but then go back to Walkabout because they're going to keep coming out with courses. And I feel like Meta and all this should start pouring money into Walkabout. And if they came out, if Walkabout came out with a Disney IP or actually I'm about to say Star Wars. Disney is Star Wars. Yeah. So or Star Wars is Disney. I don't even know anymore. So if they came or a Ghibli course, a Disney course, Star Wars, anything that the IP is like Marvel, I mean, you have got like this would be insane. Yeah. Everyone, I really think that would be it. Game over. Walkabout Minigolf.
My only thing is like I think that again, it's one of those things where it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like right now that they do have IP partnerships, but it is stuff that is a little bit smaller and really I think makes sense for the vibes. I do think Disney courses would be great, but then once Meta money starts pouring in and Meta has a bad quarter,
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like
I hear what you're saying. All of a sudden, it's a subscription service.
And when we talked about it, you know, with the guy, he was like, "Look, what we're doing right now is really successful, and we're able to put out these courses like quickly enough, and like we just charge you the $4 for a new course."
Yeah. No, you make a good point. I guess I'm.
Which you always, you know, they fucking
okay, here's what I would say.
Can you imagine if one day you said that about Walkabout Minigolf, how heartbroken you'd be?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Because it's the game that I'm just like, oh man, like I love just going into. But you see, I guess I wish there was just this is my problem, and we'll go off on a little bit of a tangent, then we'll be done. This is my problem with Billionaires, right? Many problems with Billionaires. But like,
let's get into it.
Where's the benevolent billionaire?
It doesn't exist because
it doesn't exist. Yeah. So that if I told this to Chris, and I think I told this to you, maybe not, but like if I won the lottery, right, and I won like let's say the Powerball for like $500 million, I would take a good chunk of change and go over to Mr. Martell and say, "Here's a bunch of money.
Right, that's what you said.
I love this game so much. I want you to take this, and I want you to start like cranking them. Hire some people, and make them maybe just for me. Maybe just for me and my friends."
Right? Yeah, you did say because you were like, "Well, you can make a Disney one if it was just for me. You wouldn't even need the license."
Right? You wouldn't even need the license. I won't tell anybody.
Now, I will say this: in my conversations with developers, again, a double-edged sword. Having more money can ruin the vision, because like for example, when I talked about the Journey to the Savage Planet team and talked about Revenge of the Savage Planet, Microsoft invested in that first game, and they said when they first came to it, you know, we said we need 500 grand, right? And Microsoft was like, well, we don't really do that small amount of money. How would 5 million be? And they were like, we don't want to take that because 5 million means that it would be great if you paid us $5 million to make the $500,000 game, but you're not paying us that money. For that, we have to hire more people. We need to crank things out faster. We need to add features, and then we're not making the game we wanted to make anymore. So again, double-edged sword.
I mean, these are good points, I guess.
And this is the whole: the money corrupts, the power corrupts. Absolutely, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
it just becomes.
See, this is where I would just give the money and just be like, just do what you're doing.
Like it would be like a check month. Like you would just never have to worry about running out of money.
Or that's what I would say. I was like, you don't have to worry about running out of money. Keep making courses how you're making them. If we need to do like if we need to go get IP, you know, I'll try to go get IP.
I'll buy Star Wars.
I'll buy Star Wars will be purchased. We'll go get it.
Got like, a lightsaber. Like a lightsaber.
A lightsaber club? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Death Star golf ball.
It
does.
Man.
Or the training droid that shoots the lasers. Like that's another one.
Yep.
BB-8. Oh, for fuck's sake.
BB-8, man. All I'm saying is, if I had a lot of money, I would give it to these guys. I'd be like, you guys are making a game that there's not a subscription service. The avatars come with, or like the features or the cosmetics come when you buy the pack. It's done. Like that's how it. I feel like maybe the reason why I love this game so much is also because it reminds me of the old days of DLC. That was like, here's a DLC pack, and do you want to buy it? Yes, it's $10 or whatever it was. I remember Halo would be like, we're coming out with a DLC pack. It's 3 new maps, and we were like, holy shit, 3 new maps, like this is amazing. And that's all you had to do. All you had to do was buy the maps, and they were yours, and it was done. And there was none of this like subscription service or cosmetic buys and these experience points. There's no experience points in Walkabout Minigolf. You go in, you get your club. You're not paying extra for any like club. When you buy the course, if you do the scavenger hunt, you get the club. It's done. Yeah, we shouldn't give these guys any money.
Any other games you want to talk about before we dive?
No.
You ready to dive into some news?
Yeah, hit me with news, Thomas.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to break your heart a little. I don't know if you heard about this news, but
I might have. Is it Prince of Persia?
Yeah. So the Prince of Persia Lost Crown.
What a bunch of bullshit.
You know what's crazy is apparently apparently this decision has been in the works for months of like them. Okay, so the news is that I don't think Ubisoft has officially confirmed this, but they've essentially it's come out. There's a rumor, and it seems to be more credible by the day, that Ubisoft has dissolved the team that put together Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. There will be no Prince of Persia: Lost Crown 2. And the team did pitch that. And this decision supposedly has already been in the works for months, which is nuts because the game just went on Steam in like August. So it was only, if you were on PC, it was only available through this Ubisoft Connect app. And essentially, it just seems that they're not going to do more, despite the fact that I'm pretty confident that this game is going to win some Game of the Year.
Ridiculous. It's
awards.
Really good. It's a great game. It was a great game, and
okay. So real quick, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown senior producer Abdalak Elgas issued a statement to GameSpot confirming that the game's team is no longer together. Quote, most of the team members who worked on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown have shifted to other projects that will benefit from their expertise. We know players have a love for this brand, and Ubisoft is excited to bring more Prince of Persia experiences in the future. Please have a little rant here, Tunes. Here's the money ruining the thing, you know what I mean? Here's the money ruining the thing.
Well, like, what is the problem? Like, what is the fucking problem? Like, it was a good game. I feel like people liked it.
Yeah.
When I went online, people liked it.
People love it.
So I don't understand.
The problem, like, Tuna, is Ubisoft is floundering right now. Assassin's Creed is in shambles. They made big bets with Star Wars and Avatar that did not pay out. They have not Sea of Thieves, Skull and Bones that is still in development. They're still putting out content because the fallacy of what is it called? Money sink. What am I trying to say?
Maybe we need to break up these game companies instead of consolidating. Break them up.
Break them up. FTC, get to it. Once they get through Google, Microsoft, Ubisoft.
Nothing good happens from mergers. It always just ruins everything.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when I say fair, Ubisoft does have a slightly better history with things like mergers and things like that. That being said, a lot of it has to do with tax incentives. Like, they can't just lay off people as easily as other companies because they're relying on certain headcount in order to keep the tax incentives in Canada, where they predominantly operate, other than France. So there's some politics there of like, we can't fire all these people because, like, if we do, then like we're gonna lose tens of millions on the back end from the Canadian government. So may as well just keep the developers around, which is
it just feels like I know that they're poor, like Assassin's Creed, like that. Is it getting stale? Is are we done with Assassin's Creed the same way that, like,
I think
they couldn't make a good
Halo
game?
And I think that's why they delayed it. I think it depends on what Shadows is. I think that the Shadows is that big swing of here is the era everyone has wanted.
God.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, the way I said there, I sound like my daughter because we ask her like
that's so funny.
And she'll sometimes, like, the way she says it now, she's like, yeah, like, are you ready for bed? She'll be like, yeah.
I love that.
All right.
I love that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's really disappointing to me, actually, because the game was really good. Like, I loved that game. I thought it played really well, and I had a lot of fun with it. And are we? No, we're still in good gaming era. I was gonna say, we outside of the golden era of games.
I mean, it's the best of times. It's the worst of times. It really is that, I feel, of we have so many incredible experiences across the entire spectrum.
Yeah, there's still good games.
You know,
I was gonna say like maybe 2018 to 20.
No, we're in it, dude.
2017
Like,
to 20. Yeah,
last
we're
year
still
was
in it.
insane for
We're
releases.
still in it. Yeah.
Tears.
You're right.
Baldur's Gate 3 revolutionizes gaming. I feel
right.
like Alan Wake that I'm playing right now, like it is.
Yeah.
I am so excited for what Remedy does in a way that I have not necessarily been excited for other developers. Like, but it comes with some of the worst shit. It's like Destiny. It's got the incredible stuff that keeps bringing us back, but we're constantly running into absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit, Tuna.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I will say there is in Destiny, the dungeon
reset
that is currently out, there's some parts in there where it's like, are you padding this?
Oh, 100%.
Like, what is that? Like, this is terrible.
You have to push the grind. Like,
yeah, you push the grind is so annoying with Destiny. It's like, come on, guys. Like, get over it.
I will keep playing like, I understand that, like, there needs to be a balance, and I understand how difficult that is. Like, I get it. Because the thing is, if they make it too easy, then people, like, won't. Because, like, I'm still here, like, we gotta fucking beat that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. It's really yeah, it's best of times, worst times. That's how I feel about it.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Assassin's Creed, they have said that they aren't doing early access after the Star Wars fiasco, where early access users got really screwed over with their saves because the game was broken basically on PS5. So you had that, unfortunately. Let's see, what else do we have? The other kind of big news of the week is Sakurai has basically said that he is cooking up a new game. He's been cooking up a new game.
I wonder.
And that he said that all of this YouTube content that he's been doing over the last few years was basically all recorded at the start. And he opens up the video with saying, like, if you think I've aged rapidly since the last video, then what you need to know is that every previous video was basically recorded in 2021, 2022. And that I've been solely developing the next video game that I'm making right now. And he said it'll be announced sooner or later, which means anytime. So my question to you, Tuna. Now,
it's Smash.
Now, here's the thing. Well, I do want to just bring up something that I don't think you necessarily know. Sakurai has developed other games over the years.
Kirby.
He's done he's
Icarus.
Kid Icarus. Yeah, so since Melee, he's done. I guess. Yeah. Okay. So you think for sure it's Smash? Okay. It's for sure Smash.
I'd make a bet that it was.
It's for sure Smash. When do we hear about it? Do we hear it soon after?
No.
You don't think we hear it for a while?
I think it'll be Switch 2.
I'm gonna write a note. Well, of course it's gonna be Switch 2 era. Here, I'm gonna make it a little note because I want to do I want to see in the future. So, Tuna's Sakurai predictions.
You mean the way that we'd be playing Helldivers by Christmas?
Yeah,
because that has been in the back of my mind every single day since he said it.
He's gonna start being like, you know what we should get back into? Helldivers.
No.
All right, so Tuna Sakurai predictions: Death Smash. So it's going to be Switch 2 era, okay? For sure. Which we, in theory, shouldn't hear about any later than next March. We are going to get that console next year. We're going to hear about it next year. Do we hear about Smash next year? Do they reveal the next Smash? Okay.
I think this time next year you will know that Smash will be coming.
This time next year we know. And what do you think, potentially release next year? Like it releases in
the
year? No,
release in like 2026.
So after the first year.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, great. You say it's definitely Smash. We will hear about it next year, and it will release in 2026. Let's see how that.
Let me tell you
plays
something.
Out
My
you.
predictions, if they were as good as I think they are, I'd be rich with money from the stock market.
Sure. And are you? No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Not at all.
Okay. I see. And those are really the big news items.
All right.
Unless you've got anything.
No, moving on.
Let's see if we got any reader mail that's coming in the last week. Questions for the pod. You can go onto Discord and find it there. The 24th. Yeah, we do have a little pod. If you guys got to greenlight a new title for your favorite IP, but the only rule the execs had was you need to pick a new genre, what would it be? This question brought to you by Prince of Persia Lost Crown. This one comes from Big Boss Nasty. This is a variation of a question we've answered before. And also Prince of Persia isn't new to the roguelike, the Metroidvania genre. The original Prince of Persia was like that, but I understand where you're going with this. Okay, genuinely, if I could pick a favorite IP, okay, I'm a big tactics fan. I really love tactics games. So we're gonna do tactics, and I am going to pick Avatar.
Okay, you know what would be actually kind of cool?
World.
Call of Duty, but not a first-person shooter. Call of Duty, but like
tactics.
Like the storming of
I love it. Yeah, go ahead.
Like the storming of Normandy.
Okay.
Right? I mean the Normandy invasion, but you're not first person, you're real time. Like you're
it's
you're
real
doing
time.
Yeah, it's real time.
Okay. So it's not
you're doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that. Actually, I really like that. I think that would be cool. So like different battles and different yeah.
Like if if it was like Total War World War II. Did you ever play those games, the Total Wars?
No.
You would love them. There's a Rome one.
Probably would. I probably would.
Total War Rome is their bestseller. It's like the most
I know
one.
It is. I've heard.
We had a TV show, Tuna. You'd love this. I don't know if you had it here in America, but we had a TV show where they used Total War Rome, and they gave contestants would come on and be in like a situation room, and it was like, can you successfully navigate the Battle of Thermopylae? Can you? And they would put the units out that historically and like where they were and the time of day and the conditions, and they would have them play out the simulation, and the person would have to call out the tactics.
I like it. I like that a lot.
I was obsessed with that show. Yeah.
Okay. You know what would actually be really cool? A game where you play. It's a cooperative game where you're all in. Maybe this game exists. I don't know. You're all in like a World War II bomber, and you have to each do a separate. You man the ship.
Air. What was the Apple TV show? But a video game
Masters
version
of the Air. Exactly.
Yeah, that would be good.
Version of that.
Navigating.
You got the pilot. You got the navigator. You got the pilot. You got the gunner.
The bomb dropper. That would be cool. That would be cool.
That would be sick in VR.
That would literally be sick. It would make you sick.
It would be amazing.
You would be like,
that would be amazing.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
I love that. Okay. I love that.
That's so good.
Maybe it does.
It's such a great idea.
All right. Well, Mighty Coconut can't be making Walkabout Minigolf forever. They need a new idea. So there you go. There's a free idea.
There you go, Lucas. There's a free idea.
Lucas Martel. Okay, so there you go. All right, we're going to do a little game, I guess. Do you want to do a little game?
No, wrap it up.
Oh, okay, wrapping it up. All right, we're wrapping it up.
Doing a game. You don't do games anymore.
And there's a lot to talk about with Survivor this week, so we do need to get to that post show. If you would like to hear our thoughts on this week's episode of Survivor, then consider heading over to the Discord. It's $3 a month. Not only do you get to watch the show live, like Slater is doing right now, he is in the chat. He said and he posted this a while ago, but he said, "This is the official Walkabout Minigolf podcast. Why are we talking about Batman?" Great question, Slater.
Seriously.
Why are we talking about Batman?
I mean, look, I tried to steer it back to Walkabout Minigolf when I said, yeah, you come for Walkabout, you play Batman, then you come back to Walkabout.
You literally come back to it. So you can join the show live every week. We record usually around 9 p.m. on a Thursday, but sometimes it switches up. If you can't join us live, you still have those links available to you with the post show. And that's okay if you can't make the Discord, but go check out the video version of the pod. I promise you, it's bringing it to another level. There's shit that you are missing by not seeing these faces. I'll tell you that. Or eyeballs.
Big time.
But if you keep sticking on the podcast audio, that's fine. Just come jump in the Discord. We'll see you in the Discord. It's in the show notes. You know where it is. Thank you so much for anyone. Do you want to do an outro song?
I mean, I was just going to comment on how this is the longest outro I think anyone's ever done.
Suck it.